What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be taking a look at the DNA Design Upgrade Kit for Studio Series Grimlock. So this kit allows you to take some of the parts that are either missing or just, have a little bit of gaps in them and kind of fill those pieces. And it upgrades this awful version of Wheelie, which looked nice, but unfortunately didn't have any posability. So they give you a new version right here. So we're going to take a look at these. Now, about half these parts are for upgrading the robot mode and the other half are upgrading the Dyno mode. So we'll take a look at the robot mode first, since that's how he comes. So here are the parts for the legs, or I guess the bottom of the feet. These are the parts for the arms to fill in the gaps right here on the side of the arms. And then here are some upgrade heads for Wheelie, which we'll take a look at. And then we have the sword. So first off, let's take a look at Wheelie. So if you don't remember, here's the Wheelie. And he just had ball joints for the hips. And you couldn't really bend the knees, so you were permanently stuck in this crouching, pooping position. And then the arms, same thing, while he did have that posed shooting his slingshot here, you couldn't do anything else. So you can take his slingshot out and just set him aside for a second. And here's the new one, and he is fully posable. So you can take the slingshot first of all, put that in his arms, and you can still get that same pose, but you can actually pose the arms that way. So there you go. That's nice. You also get a slightly different head sculpt. Now, people have asked me already, so I'm going to answer the question right away. Are these heads swappable? Unfortunately, no. So if you take apart this one, maybe. So there's a screw right there. And the reason people are asking that question is the head sculpt on the original is actually pretty good, whereas the head sculpt on the new one, his eyes are kind of thin. It just doesn't look quite like Wheelie. But they're about the same size. So I don't know if the ball joints are the same. So what we're going to do is take this apart, get that the screw out of there, get the ball jointed head out of there, and see if it fits. All right, so I've taken the screw out of back here. Basically, you can pull on this chest that just comes out. It is nicely painted here, but the head is on a ball joint, so you can just pop that out. And I'm happy to say it is identical. So the design is the same. It is fully painted versus this one, which is an orange plastic and then a painted face. So if you prefer the look of this, which I think looks better, the eyes are done better, overall head sculpt is better, then you can use it. So basically just take the DNA Design one, pop the head off the ball joint here. And that's how you actually change it out for the other faces. They have two other faces. They're not the greatest. One is kind of like a smiling face, and one is this sort of O face. I don't know. What do you want? But I prefer this one, so I'm going to put the Hasbro one on there. That one looks pretty good. Color matching is not too bad. It's a little off there, but overall I think this is the best looking head. And there you go. There's what it looks like with the Takara Tomy head. Now you get much more articulation on this version. We'll get this one out of here. So the head rotates on that ball joint all the way around. You get side to side, and then it goes up and down. Rotate the shoulder on this ball joint. It does go up and down here. You have a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Rotation at the waist all the way around. The legs go up to here on a ball joint. Back to here on the ball joint, out to the side on the ball joint, rotation at the ball joint, a rotation at the knee, although it's on a mushroom peg and sometimes that mushroom peg pops out. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, and you have an slight ankle tilt, which is on a ball joint, and then an ankle pivot up and down. So pretty good movement for a little guy like this. And yes, he does transform into Wheelie, so that's a great upgrade here. Go ahead and take the head. You're going to rotate that around so that it's facing backwards. Make sure it's straight. Open up the chest here. Open up this panel. Push this pink panel to the front. That's going to make the front of the vehicle. This is going to peg in here. So make sure that meets up and pegs in inside there. Close up this. And there's your front of the vehicle. Now it looks like the new head does fit just fine. So I was a little worried it wouldn't transform, but it seems to transform. So we're going to leave that, not the new head, but the head from the Studio Series 86 on there since it works. Flip the hands around to get this little pointy thing on the front. All right, next come to the back here. I'm going to take these legs and transform them. So go ahead and take the waist. That's going to bend here at the bottom. Take these feet, fold those forward. You can see that's going to make the front of the car. Peg this together so it looks like that. And this is going to fold downwards and make the front of the car. Right, and get this chest piece pegged into right here. And then take the sides of these tabs here are going to tab into the side of the legs. So go ahead and get that tabbed in on both sides. And there you have Wheelie in his vehicle mode. Not the best, but it does transform. The wheels do not roll. They're static wheels, both on the front and the back. So you can just set it aside there. It is a transforming figure, but just lower your expectations on the actual transformation. But there we have Wheelie. So let's set him aside, and now let's focus on Grimlock here. So Grimlock has a couple upgrades that work in this mode. So first of all, you get the sword. It is painted with the silver, and it's got the gray plastic for the handle there. And that was a glaring miss from this, was the missing sword. So there you go. He can hold that. And it's a nice looking sword overall, and it completes this guy. All right, now we'll take a look at the rest of the upgrades. So first we'll start off with the feet. So on the bottom of the feet, you can see there's holes here. Now, they weren't really a big issue to me, but some people want those gaps filled. So that's why they give you these panels here. So you just kind of press fit them in. They basically just push into the leg there, the foot there. And then you have a piece for the front. If you can tell how they fit. If it doesn't go in, then obviously you have the wrong piece. So I'll get those all in there. Relatively easily installation. They just goes right in. If you wanted to take them back out, you could. You just pop them with a spudger or something like that. Just get a corner and pop it. But once we put this in there, we're probably not going to take them out again. All right, so there's the bottom of the feet, and they are sculpted and detailed, and that's nice. All right, next we'll take a look at the pieces for the arms. So if you didn't know, the inner arms have these gaps here for transformation, and they're giving you these panels to fill in. They're actually detailed and even painted, and so these fit right here on top of this. Now you do have to remove a screw, so I've taken this one out right here. So you gotta take that screw out, and you fit this panel right here. And it actually tabs into the arm. So just get that tabbed in and situated. Then you need these screws here, which come in a baggie. So make sure you grab those because they're longer. So here's the original, here's the new screw. Here's the original screw. So you can see the new screw is longer. It's also black, so it melds in a little bit better. But go ahead and use the longer screw. You're going to need that, otherwise it may not reach because you're going through more plastic now. To get that. There we go. So that's nice and tight. Feels good, and we can peg that in. And there you go. There's this inner arm covered up. Oops. And so we can do the same thing on this side. Use the long screw and replace the screw that's there. So we'll do that off camera and be right back. All right, now that we got both arms upgraded, the rest of the parts that we have here are for Dyno Mode. So we're going to have to get him to Dyno Mode to take a look. Now I just wanted to show you how these transform. So if you fold those down, you fold the hand inwards like that, you put this back, it's supposed to peg back in. It doesn't peg very securely. So I don't know if that was a design issue or what, but it does kind of sit loosely on there. So I just wanted to be aware of that issue. So we'll get this transformed into his Dyno Mode, and then we'll be right back. So here's Grimlock in his Dyno Mode, and we'll start off with the more simple upgrade here, which is these arms. So the arms that he comes with, they don't have articulation in the claws. So if you just pull these off, they're just on pegs here. You just kind of get them right off. You can see that. And take the new one, and it looks like they're identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put on. So go ahead and get that replaced, and that's just going to slide right back on where you took those off, and they're going to peg in there. And there you go. Now you have articulated claws, so you can turn those as well, and they are individually articulated fingers, so you can pose them however you like. So we'll do the same thing here. All right, there's Grimlock with both arms upgraded. Definitely does add to the posability and look of the figure. All right, next we'll take care of the head, and in order to do that, we do want to take apart the head. So there's 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, and you do have to take those out for the neck upgrade. Now the head upgrade, you don't necessarily need to take it apart, but it helps and makes it easier. So why don't we just do it all? So go ahead and take these 3 screws out. All right, now we got the 3 screws out there. You can actually see before I take it apart, he's missing his front teeth, so he's got no bottom teeth and no top teeth. All he wants for Christmas is his 2 front teeth. So let's give it to him. Go ahead and open up. You can pull this apart, and you can pull the neck apart here as well. And it might be a little tight, so just give it a pull. Now the part you need to keep is this center part here, and the part you're replacing are these gold parts here. So you're replacing the gold with this translucent plastic. All right, so go ahead and take the eyepiece out here. You can see it's painted in that nice metallic blue. Take off the orange or the yellow golden pieces and just set those aside. So we're not going to be using those. Then go ahead and take the side piece. Now you know it's the right one if it allows you to angle, so you want this one here. Right, so it should be able to go like that. Go ahead and take the eyepiece, put that back in. It'll only fit one way, so make sure you put that in this way, and it should fit right into the eye. You should see it come through, just like that. Right, get that all the way in. Come to this other piece here. So here's the other part of the head, and this is where you're going to install the teeth. So go ahead and take this part right here. This is just going to lay right in there. You just press it in, and now he's got the bottom front teeth, and now he needs the top front teeth. So you take the other piece right here, and this is going to fit around the peg here. So get it on this peg right here. And it fits right in there. It's almost like a perfect fit. It almost feels like this was designed, again, prior to this figure coming out. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it just feels like that. It feels like this was already designed, but fits perfectly. All right, so now we're going to take this neck piece here, put that in the middle, get this on the mushroom peg right there, and we're going to combine this together. So go ahead and take this part, put this on, and then take the other part of the head, and that's going to snap into here. All right, now that we have it back together, go ahead and take the screws. Now you're going to replace one of the screws down here with the screw they provide, which is a black screw, like this, and it's the only other screw left. That's going to go into the neck. The other 2 are going to be the original screws. So go ahead and get this one in first. That'll kind of help you get a grip. So there he is with the screws reinstalled. You can see you got the nice translucent yellow instead of the gold yellow, if you prefer. Now they do give you screw hole covers to cover up these 2 screws. I don't know if I'm going to put those in, because just in case I want to remove this, you won't be able to do that if you put these screw hole covers in. So I'm going to leave these off, but it's nice that they give you these to cover up those holes and kind of complete the head here. Now you can store a couple things here in the Dyno Mode. So first of all, you've got the sword here. It's got the little tab right there, and this can be stored in the Dyno Mode. So if you look down here, there's a peg hole right there, and you can just peg this right onto there and store the sword, which is nice. And the original gun storage was right here. That's still the same spot. Get that pegged in on the top here. There you go. So all his weapon storage still there, and Wheelie still sits on top. And there he is riding on top of Grimlock. You can kind of get him in different positions, but that's basically him on top. Now, there is a peg right here on his leg. So if you want, you can actually use that peg. And this works in the robot mode too. I forgot to mention it, but that little peg, he can sit on Grimlock's leg. So it pegs in just like that. And he can sit here too. So another spot, if you prefer this, he could be on the side. In the Dyno mode, it would be on his shoulder, right? Or so the robot mode, it would be on his shoulder. So either way, you can do that. So final thoughts on the DNA design upgrade for Studio Series Grimlock. Let's start with the positives. I think all of the parts look nice. So the wheelie does look quite nice, and the upgraded articulation is welcome. The inner panels here with the silver paint, that does look nice. The teeth definitely completes the look of Grimlock. He looked a little weird without those teeth. And then the neck, although at first I wasn't so sure if I'd want it without the gold, I kind of like the translucent. It just looks cool. So it's a nice added bonus to have that as well. And then the added articulation in the arms and the fingers and the sword, all of that adds to the playability and fun factor for this figure. Negatives wise, these panels down here in Dyno mode don't stay in that well. They're not falling off either, but they just kind of pop out. So they work better in the robot mode, but in the Dyno mode, they just kind of sit a little bit looser than I would like. Other than that, I like the set. Is it worth $50? I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd probably price this more at $40. It seems more appropriate given what you're getting here. Or even $30. Now the original figure itself is $50. So around this price point, it seems a little high to me personally. But if you really like these upgrades, you really want a wheelie that transforms, that articulates, can be posed, and you want a sword, and you want the upgraded look for Grimlock, which I think does look nice, then I think this set is going to be worth it for you. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.